Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our multifamily virtual issuer training. My name is Wade Gale. I work for BNY Mellon. I handle, or I guess they say I manage the customer service group along with anything that has to do with SFPDM, MFPDM, and PTS and all that, and GennyNet. So that's the responsibility they gave me. So welcome again, and hope you're gonna spend some time with me for the next 2 hours. I'm sure I've seen a lot of names on the list, and some of these people that I've actually gone through this session already, so it might be just a refresher for you as we go along. Next page. Oh, and yes, I'm Wade Gale, Bank of New York Mellon. And working with me today, it's gonna be Maribel Cannon. So as we go along, we'll go through that process. Figure that I can move the agenda. We're gonna do. We did introduction, path of a pool, prerequisite for pooling, and GenMay website information. Just to give you an idea, today is just we're gonna go through the basics today. Tomorrow we go through a presentation that was already taped to give an idea of the multifamily processing on MFPDM. Path of a pool. And we're going to look at pool submission, processing, issuance, and delivery diagram. We're also going to look at MFPD/GennyNet pool submission, final certification by document custodian, process to delete final certs, and we're going to have a couple knowledge checks as we go along. Okay, path of a pool. This is just giving you an idea of what happens in the space when you actually do a submission. The first piece actually tells you what happens here. The issuer must be enrolled in GennyNet and GMAP via MGM to submit pools. Issuer must have available pool number, sufficient commitment authority, approved master agreements. So those are some of the basic requirements. You know them already. MFPDM/GennyNet. Of course, most people should be using MFPDM to do most of their deliveries. If you do have pools that are already started in GennyNet and you're going to finish them up, then you do that. But everybody should be using MFPDM to do their initial pools. So the issuer submits a pool, of course, the document custodian certifies, and then GennyNet network sweeps at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for certified pools. So if you submit a pool at 1 o'clock, you can also tell your custodian, go out and try and certify it. If they can do it before, I would say before 10 to 2. So it is a part of that sweep. You don't want to do it at exactly 2 p.m. because that one might cross while we're doing the download. That pool might not be a part of it. So I would suggest people or issuers, if you submit a pool in the later afternoon, have them to try and retrieve it by at least 10 minutes to 2. That's like 1:50 around that time. After the pools have been, the network have been swept, this piece is the third section now, pool issuance and delivery integration pool management system. That's the IPMS system. That's GenMay system where all that work happens. Pool files are reevaluated on the new pool processing system. That's the NPPS system in IPMS. New issuer file with QSIP numbers generated and to the Fed. Pool delivery file created for pool settlements. Approved for pool issuance, and all that information is reside there on the central registry, and the securities are issued by, of course, are issued on the are issued by the Fed. Just to remind you, we do another check. Although you pass that edits on GeniNet or MFPDM, when those pool actually comes down on GenMA system, there's another edit check just to make sure those systems did not miss anything before we can go in and do our finalization and send out that information to the Fed. So this is just giving an idea of what happens in the world. The issuer does their piece, set up, submit, custodian certify, and then BNYMLN do their due diligence on GenMA system according to our contract. Okay, final certification. GenMA network is swept twice each business day for processing and issuance of pool, final certified by the document custodian. Of course, we had mentioned the 2 p.m. sweep already. Pools certified prior to 2 p.m. will be considered day one processing, and you may deliver for settlement the next business day. That means anything we sweep at 2 o'clock today can be processed and issued tomorrow. That's if you have that settlement date. But if you do not have that settlement date, that pool is not going to be issued until the appropriate settlement date. That's on your 11705, and that's the information the Fed would get on their end. And then we have the 9 p.m. sweep, of course. That's anything after the 2 p.m. will be considered 2-day processing and may be delivered for settlement in 2 business days. Again, we said maybe because if your delivery date is not 2 days from when we download, we're going to make sure we deliver the pools what's on your 11705 form. Deleting pools after final certification, it happens sometimes. Users are there doing their due diligence, going back and checking and said, darn, I made a mistake here. This might be the wrong address. The P&I might be off a penny. I need to bring this pool back. You have that ability to do that. Contact GenMA customer support at 1-833-GenMA-HELP and the pool can be deleted between the hours of 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So if you contact us during that time, we can delete the pool for you. Anytime after 4 p.m., it's too late because that's the time when we do our piece and send off that information to the Fed that these are the pools that are going to be settling. So you have that window, something was certified, you don't want it, you want it pulled back, you just want to get in touch with us, and we're going to request for you to send us an email with the request saying, I would like to have this pool deleted. And then once we get that email, we'll do our parts to delete the pool, let you know, and then you can go in and make your changes, apply the edits again, and resubmit. Maybe you might catch a 9 p.m. sweep for that pool if everything goes well. Issuers have up until 12 noon to perform an order delete. That means if you submit something last night, just use last night as an example, and you realize you're checking now, you realize that, oh darn, I made a mistake. You have up to 12 noon today, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, to go in and delete that pool yourself. You don't have to get in touch with us. So as long as it's by 12 noon, you have the ability to go in and delete that pool. If it's after 12 noon, then that's when you have to get in touch with us again, and we're going to request you to send us an email stating that you like this pool to be deleted. But you can delete the pool up to 12 noon by yourself. Most issuers, because they're used to it, I know they tend to do that. And again, issuers contact GenMA customer support at the 833-466-2435 number for assistance when deleting pool. If you're not an expert and it's your first time, don't hesitate to give us a call so we can walk you through that process. Okay, first knowledge check, just to make sure people are still with me. If I want to check the status of a pool, who can I call? I think we're just having a little mix up with the polls there. If I want to check the status of a pool, who can I call?
We have some answers in the chat.
Customer support, that's very good. You're right, Mary. I'm not too sure why the questions are not showing up. Can we get to the second question? Where do we go to submit your master agreements? I'm not sure this was for this time or this was for later, but let's see. Because my GenMay portal, that's correct. Listen, where do you go to submit your master agreements? If I know those 5% that is saying, oh, my threat worked. My threat worked. No, we don't do it in GenNet. We all do it through the My GenMay portal, the master agreement. Next question, please. A soft token is required to submit your. Okay, I think we're showing the questions that in the second part of the presentation. The poll questions. We'll get that together. If I want to check the status of a pool, who can I call? GenMay customer service 1-833 GenMay help. When can I recall or order delete a pool? Pools that are certified after 2 p.m. can be deleted up to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time the next day. And if I miss the window for recall, what can I do? And that's when you're going to call us so we can, and we're going to request you to send an email. And once that email is in our reach, we'll delete the pool and send it back to you that you can go ahead and do your due diligence on those pools. So the most important thing, give us a call at 833-466-2435, option 1 or 3, if you're not too clear on anything, of course. Okay, prerequisite of a pool. I think the polls that we're showing should, I think, be a part of this segment. But you know something? It's Monday. We're just getting some of the cobwebs out of our eyes. So by the time Friday comes around, we'll be fine. Prerequisite of a pool. Enroll on MGM. Request RSA soft token. Introduction to My GenMay MGM portal. Master agreements. We have commitment management. We have request pool number, and we're going to actually do another knowledge check just to get people into. Introduction to MGM. I'm sure everybody has been, 2020 since been using My GenMay. And of course, that's the simple gateway to all GenMay system, application, and resources that boost the efficiency for business partners. The portal provides enhanced security and a single entry point to all approved applications for individual users, as well as a seamless user registration and access request process for both the user and the approving authority. GenNet will eventually replace GMAP 1.0, we're almost there, and serve as a primary platform for extended information capabilities to GenMay community. GenMay delivers security features which GenMay established. And those are, you said, the browsers that we said we can use Firefox, Chrome, and we need to actually change that Explorer to Edge. So that needs to be fixed because no one is actually using Explorer since I think last June. And of course, we have how to access MyGenMA, the https:/my.genma.gov using any of those browsers to get it. And I also encourage users, especially the org admins, although we can work with the org admins do have their own administrator guide. That is your Bible. Just like you rely on the GenMA MBS guide for policies and stuff out when you're setting up, use this guide to guide you when you're setting up a new user, when you need to reset someone, when you need to we have the guide there. So make sure you utilize that in your office. Okay, introduction to MGM roles and responsibilities. Again, if you're brand new to the system, then this is new to you. But if you've been using the system since 2020, GenMA tried to make this as easy as possible for the user. So we have set it up in a way that you can we want you to only get the roles that you're going to use the system for. If you don't need everything there, that's all functional roles. The org admin should be only able to give the user what is the requirement. So we have just some roles here to show you, like MF loan delivery and basic and pool basic user. And we also have the description, what the person can do. Upload, enter loan information for delivery, verify availability of commitment authority, clear document discrepancies and pool exceptions, access to prepare but not execute PIT transaction. That's a basic user. That means you're saying that person has a login, the person is not on the company's corporate resolution. And then you have an authorized signer. And of course, that is one of the big difference. Only is on the HUD 11702. All rights of a loan delivery and pool in basic user, plus authority to submit pools for issuance, request additional commitment authority, and execute PIT transaction. So one of the things I want to mention, since we're on these roles, I've noticed it, and my team have actually noticed it too. Org admins would go in and give basically everybody all the roles there, and sometimes you don't even need it. And if you're an authorized signer, you don't need the pool in basic user. That authorized signer, all of that stuff is already in there. You don't need the pool in basic user. If you're just a basic user, you don't need to get authorized signer. So you just want to make sure you're efficient in that sense in giving the users just the appropriate roles they need. Then you have other roles called investor reporting. That's if you do those monthly RFS reporting. And you have the investor authorized signer. The basic, you have HECM compliance and oversight user, and you have the investor reporting basic user for the subscriber. So these are some of the roles, and you'll see all of them in the GenMA end user guide, and there's a matrix there that describes most of them. If you're not too clear on what you want to give the user, you can always give us a call and we can see if we can walk you through the process, listen to what you have to say, and then guide you in that sense. Okay, I see one thing on here that I did not change, and I'm going to see if anybody can see it. Introduction to the MGM issuer responsibility. Enroll as a user on MyGenMA portal with function roles that allow the upload of master agreements, Form 11702, identified authorized signer. You're going to get GenNet/MDM access. You're going to request commitment authority to guarantee MBS issues. We're going to obtain pool numbers, and we're going to upload the master agreements on 1172, which identifies the authorized signers. And then we're going to request the RSA soft token. But you know that picture, that's not a soft token. We should have changed that to another image. So, of course, everybody's used to that, the RSA token fob that is now going out, which was decommissioned on October 25. So that we should have changed that picture there. But you do need the RSA token as part of the process. RSA Secure Quick Check reference card, you have that, you can look at that. And also the Government National Mortgage Association System Access Form. That's the form that's you're going to send in to start the process with giving the person the RSA token. That still happens. The group, on our end, will prepare it and send it up to the appropriate team if that's the way you want to go for an RSA token. And it's now the soft token, of course. So I know everybody went through that process over the last couple of weeks in getting themselves familiar with the new process. Introduction to MGM, the portal login screen. Of course, once you get your user ID and everybody's set up, you have to log into the portal. This is just going to show you what the main page look like. And once you're on that page, you're going to click on OK. And of course, you're going to put in your user ID and your password. And just to let you know, your user ID is usually your work email. That's how it's set up. That's how you're set up on the system. It's your work email. So it's not like if you haven't used the system in a while, you're not going to log into GeniNet to get in or log. You don't have different login. It's just one login to get into the system. User ID, password. And of course, right down here, if you forgot your password, you can also go in and change that. What it does, it asks you for your user ID. Then you have to put in the code. And then once that's done, you're verified. It generates a new password, asks it to generate a new password. We also have the login into my GeniMe quick reference card. If somebody doesn't want to go through the user manual, at least we provide those benefits for you to just use a quick reference card. Of course, this is what the dashboard looks like. Inside of GeniMe, my GeniMe, the dashboard screen displays. My dashboard is a landing page that has been tailored for different user types to provide easier access to key information and application. So if you're most likely familiar with this, you'll see down here, if you have pools in the system, this tells you the status of some of your pools right along here. And so this is the actual landing page that you'll come to. This is basically the home page with information on there. You might, if you'll have area that says activity feed, commitment authority, you have inbox, you have notes. So this is all a part of the portal, my GeniMe home screen page right there. Okay, prerequisite for pooling. Accessing Master Agreement Management System, that's MAMS. Anytime you're in a Master Agreement Management System, if you're with GeniMe for a while, you know there's a lot of acronym you have to get used to throughout your period with the organization. So MAMS, Master Agreement Management System. Okay, and everybody knows right now we're in the thick and thin of renewals. Renewal ends on December 31st. I think there's a slide coming up on that. But we just want to give you an idea. If you do MAMS, you'll have to, this just going to give you an idea what the screen looks like. Go to Tool, drop down at the top of the screen, then look for MAMS on the application. So here's MAMS. And then when you get into, when you get into the screen, you'll go, the section here that's in red, that's when you'll proceed to actually process your MAMS information. Okay, the master agreement submission to be not eligible, to generate pools. Issuers are required to submit a complete set of master agreements which consist of the forms listed below. Let's go through the forms. The form HUD 11702, Resolution of Board of Directors and Certificate of Authorized Signer. That's the first form that must be submitted. That's the first form that must be entered and submitted, and once that's approved by BNY Mellon, it allows you to go in and to set up the other forms. We have Form HUD 11703-11. This mostly is used for, not mostly, it's used for the HMBS issuers. So this form is not approved. It doesn't apply to you right now. Of course, you have the Form HUD 11707, Master Servicing Agreement. You have the HUD 11709. That's the Master Agreement for Servicers P&I Custodial Account. You have the HUD 11709A. That's your ACH debit authorization. That form does not need a renewal, but you can change it throughout the year. As if you decide to change your accounts, you just have to follow the appropriate steps. HUD 11715, that's your Master Custodial Agreement. So if you have multiple custodian, you would have to create that form and send it in for approval on the custodian side. So that's the Master Custodial Agreement 11715. Then you have the 11720. That's the Master Agreement for Services Escrow Custodial Agreement. So those are the Master Agreement form. And we are right now in the pit of things. If you decide to, if you're doing a renewal and you're telling us that, hey, I'm renewing, but I'm not making any changes, then you know the process. But if you're making changes, maybe you'll have to end up submitting brand new forms. And what this does is just give you an idea. It's basically what you'll see on the Master Agreement Management System Guide. The quick reference card provides procedure and information for the topic. And again, we're showing you the quick reference card because maybe you don't want to go in and read everything about master agreements, but the quick reference card just going to give you what it says, a quick look and what to do. One, create a form, print your agreements, upload/import completed forms, search and view forms, and how you send them to the submission center. The submission center is once a form is done, then you'll shoot it off to the submission center, and that's when your RSA soft token will come in play. Yes. When and how to update master agreement. On an annual basis, issuers must recertify their eligibility by completing the renewal process. As I mentioned earlier, we're now in the renewal process, and I hope everybody that's on the call right now has actually done that, and they're good for 2023. If you have not done that, I think starting maybe now, I think every day Jenny gets a listing of the people who are still behind. And I think I said this in April when we had another session, when we had the session. Try and get this done as soon as possible. You know, we're in December now. Today is December 5th. These are the times when the appropriate people, some people who might need to sign documents because they're the authorized signer to use their token, they're off on Christmas holidays. And you're running around and you can't find the appropriate people, and you're calling Jenny May, I need an extension. Jenny May saying, as of now, we're not extending anything. You should have had it done by December 31st. So let's not get in that panic mode. And I hope I'm talking to the people that have already done it, and they're just saying, wait, this doesn't concern us. We have already done it. But it started in October, and you have until December 31st. Today is the 5th. And of course, you have Christmas holiday coming up here in December. So just try and get it done before as soon as possible. Remember, if you're just certifying what you have for 2022, that is easy. You just go in and check the box and say, whatever is here on the screen, that's what I'm using for the coming year. But if you have to make changes because people come and go, so you have to update your 11702. You might, over the course of the year, change your custodian. So you would have to submit a new 11715 so the new custodian can actually do their certification. You might have to, maybe you need to add another subscriber, subservicer. So you might need to do 11707. So that means you'll have to, basically you're creating new forms. So that might take some time for you to do if you are not the expert in doing this. So try and get it done as soon as possible. You don't want the December 31st to come up and you're still trying to get your master agreements done. So December 31st is a cutoff. Important to start the recertification process as early as October 1 to reduce the year-end spike in volume. And that means when we say year-end spike, this is when we get a lot of calls. I submitted it, but my manager is out somewhere in Mexico and he won't be coming back until January 6th. And how can I get this done? So you just wanted to avoid all those things. If an issuer does not complete their recertification within the renewal period, they will not be eligible to issue Generate pools and will have to repeat the initial submission process. Yes. So if you did not renew, and that was your intent, started in January, unfortunately, you'd have to submit all those forms again as an initial submission. So I'm sure you might not want to do that, because I know with the multifamily issuers, you don't only submit 111,720 or 111,709. You submit quite a few because of how your program is set up. So you don't want that to happen to you. So you have to go in and do all of those over again. So try and get it done on time. You have until December 31st. I do have a break. So we'll break for 15 minutes and then we'll come right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you were able to either stretch your legs, go get your favorite beverage, and you're ready to go until 12 noon. Guess what? Just a little show off here. We had free Starbucks in the office when we come in. The bank has been providing that since March of this year. So you can go down there and get anything you want, any amount of drink you want. But so it's a good thing and people are utilizing it. So free Starbucks for us, anything we want until they say we have to pay for it. So that's a good thing. And that's an incentive to at least come into the office. Just wanted to share that. I hope everybody don't hate me for that, but that's one of our perks for coming into the office as part of the hybrid schedule that we have. Free Starbucks every day. I've never had so much Starbucks in my life. I wasn't even a drinker of Starbucks, but you know what? It's free, so might as well utilize it. Anyways, welcome back and thank you for staying with us for the next session. We're going to look now at accessing commitment management, the CM via MGM. And if you do CM, this is how you'll do it, of course. You're still going to go to the area that says Tools. And on the Tools, you're going to see CM. And once you do that, you're going to select Commitment Management, and the screen comes up looking like this. And of course, CM, it's called Commitment Authority Request. An issuer must comply with GenMay eligibility requirements and have sufficient commitment authority available to successfully issue GenMay securities. Commitment authority allows an issuer to issue up to an authorized dollar amount of security and constitute a commitment line balance. Of course, this is very important. You don't want to, you're issuing millions and millions of dollar pools, but you don't have the proper commitment to do it. The pool is going to get kickback, and you don't want it to happen to you. It could be because of the kickback, you could miss your settlement dates. You promised the investor this day, and because of situation, you can't do that. So you just want to make sure you're taking care of your commitment authority piece. And the commitment management application replaces the manual submission of documents of fees via pay.gov and provide an issue with the automated method to submit requests, confirm the associated commitment fee, proactively monitor their commitment authority balance and request status, and submit payment instruction for ACH debit for commitment fee. And of course, you can request reports. And then, of course, what we usually do on this other page is tell you, if you don't want to read the user manual, you can always, this one is definitely about the user manual now. So you can always, and it tells you where you can find the different areas that you want to look at. Submitting requests for commitment authority is page 6 to 10. Confirm the associated fee. Proactively monitor. Submit payment instructions is there. And of course, a request report. So all this information is in the user guide if you want to go that in depth in reference to doing your commitment authority. And of course, the quick reference guide is the one that most people tend to use. You can just have that on your desk if you're working from home or in the office, or you can have the PDF set up somewhere so you can actually get it up quickly in case you need to go through that process. And commitment authority summary page, it's view the submitted requests. It's also run the report. So that's what the quick reference card actually shows you here. So we're doing the prerequisites. We did the master agreements, that's MAMS. We did the commitment authority. And now we have to talk about pool numbers. And this is very important because I think it was a couple weeks ago. Someone was actually setting up some pool and they're like, these pool numbers are not taken. And I'm like, how did you get these pools? Oh, I just went in and made them up. Oh, no, you can't do that. These pools number have to be associated to your issuer number. That's why this system is giving you that error message. He just went in and because he was using, I think it was A something, he just went in and add a couple numbers at the end and think that's going to be it. And no. These pools have to be requested. Pool numbers. So again, you go into tools, you choose RPN, and then number 3 is the request pool number screen comes up, and then you proceed from there to do the request. Request pool number is an application that Genomate Issuer used to request pool numbers. It replaces the current paper form 11700 letter of transmission for commitment authority and or pool numbers. Okay, if anybody remembers this form, you are definitely old school in the Genomate business. I haven't seen this number in such a long time. So if you remember this form, I want to see somebody put it in the chat and say, yes, I do. And then we know you're within this, you're doing this stuff for a long, long time. In the request pool number application, Anita, you do. Bless your heart. And Dean, you remember that too. Bless your heart. Issuers have the ability to perform the following procedure. Enter requests for pool numbers, view available pool numbers, queue, submit override requests to Genomate account executive for additional pool numbers, view status report, request and download reports, and receive real-time approval for requests. So those are what the actual application will do for you. This is a quick reference card again. We make reference to these cards because I think people tend to use these much quicker than actually the user manual. Get the quick thing. How do I do this? Request summary screen, request pool number, download pool number, view status of pool number, and run report. So that's what the quick reference card will cover. The basic process instead of going through the user manual to do the process. You have the quick reference information right there in the card. Okay, prerequisite submission for submission issue requirement. Pooling prerequisite. Ensure there are assigned pool numbers. Check your available pool numbers or on request pool numbers. Ensure there is an adequate commitment authority. You want to check that on commitment management. Ensure there are completed master agreements on file. Check master agreement management system. Complete a HUD 11709A ACH debit form because you're gonna need that as part of the process. So this is just some little quick reminders here. Those are check marks. You, ma'ams, I'm good. Commitment authority, I'm good. Pool numbers, I'm good. If I'm a new issuer, all these are good. And I can go in and create my first pool in MFPDM. And then I might not be good. I'll call the hotline for guidance. That's fine. That's what we're there for. I hope we can help you make your life a little bit easier in going through your first pool. Or if you just don't remember how to do certain things, you might have been on vacation for 6 months and you want to come back to do a pool, don't hesitate to give us a call on that also. Okay, overview of prerequisite pooling. Create a new form entry. I think at this point, this is when we have, Ryan, this is when we have those demo queue up for. The first one is going to be master agreement. And basically this just goes through the process of how you get in and start the master agreement. You're going to go to tools. On the tools, we're going to choose MAMS. We're going to click on create form. We're going to choose 11702. We're going to click and go. Quick video. We're going to select the issue number. Then we're going to put in the information. Don't worry about the date. There, that's what you're going to put in secretary's name. Maribel, you have a lot of jobs and you're not even a Jamaican. But that's good though. Oh, okay. Wade 2. He's the officer. And then you put in the title. And again, this is the first form you actually want to send. And you put in the address. Zip code. And finish filling that information there. Then the date. Of course, the recording, so the date's a little bit off, but that. Then you proceed to replace existing, if that's what you're going to do. If it's a no, then you proceed to enter with the new information for the person. Name, last name, and the title. And James Lee was a colleague of ours. He's no longer with the bank. He decided to move on for greener pastures. Choose a file if you're going to do an import. Find where the file is. Bring it in. Upload the document. Tells you that the issue is successfully uploaded and save as draft. See the draft there. Save as draft. Then form 1172 is successfully saved as draft. We're good there. Now, once it's saved as draft, it says completed. So we want to make sure we send that authorized signer to the Add to Submission Center. And once we add to Submission Center, that's when we go in the mode of using your RSA soft token to do the submission. We're going to select it. and submit. And of course, you go through the legal information. You have to agree on this per Jenny May, the terms and conditions. Once you read that and understand it, then you click on accept and submit forms. This is when you go to the RSA token piece and go to the process of submitting the information. So that's basically the part for RSA for MAMS. Then we have the commitment management. And I think these two record and run back to back. Basically the same thing. You're going to go to tools. You're going to look for CM, if that's what you do. Then we're going to proceed to select the issue number, then request commitment. Program type, we're going to choose multifamily. We're going to put the commitment requested. Then what it does, it generates the commitment fee there. And you put in your ACH routing number. You enter your account number. And then you re-enter that account number just for verification. And once that's done, you're gonna, the terms and condition again, you have to click on that and do the accept. Then you go through, just give you a summary before you go to the submission there. Click on OK. Then you go to your RSA token and submit this request to your account executive. And then we have RPN, request pool numbers. Again, you go to tools and you select the request pool numbers. Until your organization has an adequate allocation of pool number to proceed with this request, select AE override. So we're just showing that you had enough commitment authority. So we just want to show you if you want to do an override, if you want more. Your request is in progress. Please contact your AE if you have any questions. So that's just a quick snippet of what happens in that world. And you notice that not all three applications actually use the RSA token, the soft token. You need a token for the master agreement. You need a token for the commitment management. You don't need a token for the request pool number. So you don't need your token there, but the other two, you do need an authorized signer to submit that information. Okay, poll. Now I think what we were looking at earlier this morning, this is where it should have been. So let's see if we can run this poll and see what we can get from the team. Pool numbers must be requested after pool is submitted. 9 people. I see if anybody think differently in this one. And then I'll write them down and then I'll know what to do at the end of the show. Pool number must be requested after pool is submitted. I'm gonna get a heart. I reverted that heart attack. That was close. That was close. Okay. Thank you, everybody. The answer is actually false. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Next question, please. Where do we go to submit your master agreements? Nice. Not in GeniNet. The master agreements can be seen in GeniNet, but that's after they've been submitted and approved. So the answer is actually in the My Genome portal. We just go into tools. We were on that space a while ago, tools, and then you select the master agreements. Okay, next question, next poll question. RSA soft token is required to submit your request for commitment authority. Is that true or is that false? Or I don't have a vote. I just don't know, Wade. I have 19 people say true. RSA soft token is required to submit your request for commitment authority. Remember I said earlier on that page, there are two other applications that you use your RSA token to do the submission for. It was commitment authority, one of them. So we have 22 response, and one person is still saying that that answer is false. So the answer for that is actually true. RSA soft token is needed to submit your request for commitment authority. You do need your soft token to submit for MAMS, commitment authority. You don't need a token to submit for request pool numbers. And of course, you do need a token when you're doing your submission via GeniNet or MFPDM. So thank you for your participation in the poll. And that person that says false, are you just pulling my legs? Or you really believe it? But they're not going to identify themselves, are they? Thank you for participating in the poll. Generate information. What we did this screen just to kind of give people an idea what there's usually a calendar out there on Genome on Genome's website. On the tools, you can, if you do multi-issue pool numbers, pool date calendar is also there, and that gives you some specific dates and times if you are an issuer, if you're doing multifamily pools, if you're doing single family pools, HMBS, if you're doing your RSA, if you're doing your not RSA, if you're doing your, what's the reporting system called? RFS. Oh God, how could I forget that? RFS. So there's a calendar. This calendar is actually, it says April 2022, but it gives you an idea what happens out there. We should have actually changed this. Give you an idea what happened out there. So go there and check the calendar dates when you can submit pools. When was the last time you can submit a type 3, a type 5? When is the last day you can submit a manual pools? And people are still doing manual pools because sometimes there's some of the rules and regulation that are still not in GeniNet because there might be a little bit one-off or MFPDM. So we still request a manual pool. So check the calendar for the ready date, the time those pools are issued. It's also the cutoff time. When is the last time you can actually submit a pool for the month? If it must be submitted by 2 p.m. on this day, so you can still get it for that month. So check the calendar out there, especially the newbies. If you're not familiar with this, always go in and check on those things on the Genome website. Why is this session so short? It's so weird to me. But Multifamily virtual issuer question and answer. Are there anything that we said today that you want more explanation on? I know tomorrow we're going to go into a recording that we did some time ago about MFPDM and some of the introduction of some of the new features. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Is there anything that I said today that you just say, did not get it, Wade? that accent of yours just mess up what you said. Is there anything that anybody want me to go over? Any questions? Someone is typing. Oh, one thing I want to remind you of. Right now, I know that the AEs might be getting notices that you're short on your org admins. John, to tell the truth, I don't know. We just got here in March and they said free Starbucks from now until when they change it. So we just went along with it. So I think it's pretty cool. So we're just living the life. I think when they stop, we'll be tired of Starbucks and want to go into something else. I want to mention the thing about the tokens, not the tokens, the org admins. You know, per GNMA, every issuer needs to have at least 3 org admin. So make sure the org admin go in and check to make sure you do have that, because if by chance, if an org admin did not log in within the 90 days, they're going to lose their privilege. And that's going to flag, and it's going to send an email to GNMA saying this person is down to 2. They're not meeting the requirement. So make sure you check that. And also the org admins. There's some of you are just org admins. You're just there as a backup to the system. You don't really go into the system on a regular basis. I'd suggest maybe set it up as a timer or a reminder on your PC just to log in once a month. Not once a month, maybe once a week if you can do that, just to keep your ID and your profile fresh. Because if you, after 90 days, that profile is just sitting there docile, the roles are gonna go away and you'd have to go in and reset those up all over again. So just as a reminder, as a org admin, just make sure you do that. And org admins, you have the ability to reset someone. You have the ability to give the roles, and of course the second org admin will do the approval, and then it comes to us as the operation admin here at BNY Mellon to do the finalization. So you don't have to actually wait on us to set up a brand new user. What you cannot do is set up an org admin. So if someone needs to be an org admin, of course you call us, request that form, we send it to you, you fill it out, we do our due diligence and set you up on the system. Something goes back to you saying you need to fill out this necessary information. Once that fill out, it comes back to us and we proceed to give you the privilege roles. And just remember, which I think most people in the world of MyGenMay actually, that's how they're operated. Most people actually, if you're org admin, you're also one of the worker bee. So you have dual functionality there as part of the process. So I wanted to mention that. Wanted to mention also reminder, renewals for MAMS ends on December 31st. So if you haven't gotten to doing your MAMS renewal, don't hesitate, get it done before the 31st. You don't want to wait until last week when it's usually a ghost town at GNMA, BNY Mellon, and also in your office because people are going out for their Christmas vacation. Commitment authority, make sure you have that money. If you're doing a pool for $10 million, make sure you check your balances every morning when it comes in. And if you have something for $9 million and you have a $10 million pool, that's not going to go. It's going to fail when it comes into us at BNY Mellon here. Then we'll have to get in touch with your account executive. They're going to get in touch with you that you might have to wire this information in so you can process that pool. And what I'm worried about here, because you have already set up that deal and the investor is looking for the pool at a certain time, and because of this delay, maybe 1 or 2 days, you might not meet your obligation, and there could be penalties for you because you did not oblige. Tell them you delivered it on the 5th, and because of this master agreement, not master agreements, because of this commitment authority, you cannot get it until the 8th. So that might put you in a bind. You might have to end up paying them some money for penalties. So those are things you just want to watch. If you're not the person who get this e-notification to check the commitment authority, you want to make sure you're on there. I think everybody actually gets that now, so they'll see that as part. And also you can check on the dashboard. There's a section there for commitment authority, and it tells you what you currently have before you go in and set up the pool. Same thing for pool numbers. Always an issue. If you don't request pool numbers, you cannot just go in and say, I requested 10, and then I said, oh, I need an 11. So the last number end with 9, so you just decide to do 0 and think it's going to work. Eventually, someone actually took that number before you. So it's going to come back and say pool number does not belong to you. That's another delay. And you don't want those things. You can avoid those things when you're doing the setting up for the pool. Get your pool numbers correct. Get your commitment authority correct. Have your master agreements ready. Know your loan. Know the type of pool you're going to do. Have all the necessary information to send off. And also speak to your custodian. I always say this. If you know at a particular ready date, you're going to have a ready date for a certain time, speak to your custodian and say, Ken, we're going to send a pool on such and such a day. Is it okay? Will you be able to certify it at such and such a time? Because I want it to be ready for the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th of December. They can work with you on that. Most of the time, you're not the only customer they have, but I'm sure they can put in some time to work with you on that, because they're supposed to be checking those documentation that you're sending for the information you're putting in GennyNet and also MFPDM. On GennyNet side, I think everybody right now is doing the initial pools through MFPDM. GennyNet would be like a last resort if something just happened, it's not going right in MFPDM. We're doing our research here to find out why this is not going. But on your end, you find that you're on a deadline crunch. So we usually reach out to the account executive to let them know there's an issue here on MFPDM. This pool is not going through. Is it okay? Can you give us authorizations for issue 1, 2, 3, 4 to submit this pool via GennyNet? And that pool now is going to become a GennyNet pool until GennyNet goes over and all the necessary information will be transferred over to MFPDM, but that is some time to come. Just some reminders, and next page, I think we have some resources. Some of the stuff that we went through earlier during the slides. MyGenMay.org admin guide. Org admin, get used to the guide, understand what your roles are, and so you can execute them. Because we have people call in, end users call in and say, can you reset my password? As part of the process, my team usually tell them no, not because we want to, but because that's the standard GenMay has set up to do. So we are going to send them back to the account, not to the account executive, to the org admins to do the reset. The org admins now, if you have issues, you can call us and we can work with you and reset your password or give you the privileged roles again. But GenMay want to make sure that it's structured that way that the user speak to their account executive. Keep on saying that word. The user speak to the org admins and get the problem resolved there instead of coming directly to us. Master Agreement Management System, that's a guide. You have the access forms. You have the commitment management system. You have the request pool number guide. So those are just other, and then we have more resources there to help you out on stuff. If I always say the RSC, the QRCs are always good because they're shorter than actually reading through the manual if that's how you're going to go. I know what these are good tools for getting a new person just joined and you want to get them familiar with certain things. These are some of the better tools to give them instead of having them to read through the guide. They can read through the guide at another time, but if you want them to get going, these documents will help them as quickly as possible. Are there any questions or concerns, anything that was said, anything that you're not clear on, you want us to use the time to go over? Mr. John is typing. Do we have any of the account executive online? Do you have anything to say to what Wade Gale just said? Michelle, Jennifer? Thank you, John. If there's nothing else, my time is up. And guess what? We're going to give you back 30 minutes of your time. So maybe some people are at home working still, maybe in the office. So use that time wisely. And tomorrow we're going to go into a recording of MFPDM and a little more in depth into the process. And again, it's one of those videos that we had used some time ago. So I think this is our last go around to use this video. Then we're going to try and update it in our next training presentation. Thank you again for the first day.